went to the post office yesterday, I guess it was. Yesterday or the day before. I wanted some Christmas stamps. So I got up to the counter and I said, I want some Christmas stamps. He says, those are the ones we have. There was a Santa, there was a green one with green wreath, one with a red wreath, and a Madonna and Child. And so I looked down, and he pointed to the Santa, and he says, sorry, we're out of those. And I said, well, what about this Madonna and Child? He says, oh, we got plenty of them. I said, all right, give me 100 of those. He was so happy, I think, finding somebody find those things, you know. And on the way out, I forgot to tell you about this part, but on the way out, a woman who was kind of standing there when I had the conversation, she said, she made some comment, I can't remember what it was, and I made some, and she said, well, why was that one so important to you, the mother, you know? And she said, oh no, she said, what's the difference? Well, there's a difference if you have a Santa or if you have a Madonna and Child. You know? And I said, well, do you know what Christmas is about? She said, well, of course. Well, everybody celebrates Christmas, you know, whatever. And we went back and forth with her, and I said, no, really, do you know what Christmas is about? She says, well, yeah, Jesus was born. I said, good. You know, I'm making progress here. You know? And I said, do you know why that's important? And she said, I don't know, no, probably not. And I said, it's important. You would not be able to go to heaven if Jesus had not been born. And I said, in the Christmas gospel, remember we just heard this, he will save people from their sins. And I said, that's why it's important. I said, I don't know that you sin. I don't know you at all, actually, so I hope you don't. But you certainly were born with original sin on your soul, whether you know it or not, you know. And that alone would have kept you from the kind of deep communion with God that God had originally planned with us at the beginning, you know. I could see on her face two things. One was, boy, did I pick the wrong day to go to the mailbox. To the post office. No, I probably made that up, you know, I don't know. But it was just, it was something she'd never heard, I guess. That's what it looked like, you know. And I'm not making fun of her in any way at all, you know. But I wonder, you know, in a society where all the Santa stamps sell, you know, like hotcakes, and the Madonna and Child Christmas stamps sit there with them waiting for somebody like me to come along and buy them all. I wonder how many people don't understand why this is important. And to me, this is the reason why we have to keep wishing people Merry Christmas. Because, and then look for the opportunity to tell people, right? Because we have to keep this alive. Now, I know Hanukkah's going on right now, and you know, maybe people are celebrating some other things too, you know. And I'm not denigrating that, but we celebrate Christmas because the fact is people aren't saved by what's celebrated at Hanukkah or this, that, or the other. We're saved by our sins because Jesus was born. It's that simple. That's the condition for the possibility of us spending everlasting life in heaven with God. And that's why we celebrate. Now, I know we do a lot of things at Christmas. We invite people over, family comes back together, extended family. We do this, that, and the other, and that's beautiful. But none of that saves us. It's wonderful stuff, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't save us. What saves us is Jesus being born. That was the beginning of the end of Satan's reign. It's the beginning of everlasting life for us. Because it was born, as we heard in one of the Christmas carols before Mass, he was born to die. And he died for our salvation. And so, please, don't pass up any opportunity you have to tell people that, because that is the good news. If that didn't happen, if that doesn't entail that Jesus' birth was the beginning of our salvation, then this is just another nice thing that we do. You know? But this is not just another nice thing that we do. This is the most important thing that we do. To recall Jesus' birth and to recall that this was the beginning of us being freed from our sins. This was the beginning of us being brought out of darkness into eternal light. This is the beginning of the possibility of us sharing everlasting life with God in heaven.